Hi guys, we have another stretching video coming up for today, even though today I wouldn't say it's just the stretching video because we are going to focus on strengthening the back for certain exercises that involve a bit of a stretch to the side or to the front. So that's what we are going to focus on. We are going to start standing up and we will just do a warm-up, and we will start by circling the head in one direction. Just do that a couple times. And after a while, we want to take our shoulders with us a little bit. So the circle becomes slightly bigger. I want to make the circle a little bit bigger. I'm just going to slowly start making the circles even bigger. Make sure your knees are bent a little bit so you can properly circle around. Closer to the floor. Now we're actually going to touch the floor on our way down. Just going to do the big circle a couple of times, got everything down, and we are slowly going to decrease the size of the circle. Come up a little bit more with every circle that you do. Now it's just the upper body, just the ribs and everything else, shoulders and head, and just the head a few times. I always feel a little bit dizzy after this exercise. I don't know about you guys, but that's okay, because it's going to go away now because we will change the direction. Starting with the head, and do the whole same thing on the other side. Just keep circling. And we're going to bring in the shoulders. Oh, my hair is just everywhere in my face. Just the shoulders and the head. And make sure to bend your knees, I always forget that. Slowly increase the size of the circles. And the circles are big enough now for us to touch the floor with the hands and pass them. Circles, big ones. And on the next one, we're going to start decreasing the size of the circles. Now it's just the upper body. Just the ribs and shoulders. Just the shoulders and the head. And just finish with the head. Ooh, I'm losing my hair over here. Sorry, let's just do 2 more circles just for the head. Okay, look up. We're going to roll the shoulders just a couple times. And the other way around. Just going to do some figure eights with the hips. Always going backwards. Knees are straight this time. we want to stretch it out to the side. Go the other way around, so it's figure 8 forward now. And we want to start with our first strengthening exercise. We want to turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing. All we want to do is tighten our stomach, tighten our legs, tighten everything, hands next to us, and we just want to go forward into a flat back, a tabletop, or however you want to call it, 5 times. Three, 4, and 5. Ideally, you should start feeling a stretch in the back of your legs. We're going to do the same thing with the hands lifted straight up. And we're going to go 5 times. 1. It's going to add a little bit more weight to the whole movement. 2. And 3. And 4. And 5. And now I want you to hold there. Bring the arms down. I'm just going to hang there for a second. And now we want to bend our knees, try to keep the back straight, and come up. We want to bend them so far that our fingertips can touch the floor. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Come down, roll down with your knees bent, and just relax into the stretch a little bit. Now from there, I want you to try and, with your body on your legs, to try and stretch the knees as far as you can. You shouldn't be able to stretch them all the way unless you're very, very flexible. Like mine just goes sort of until here. Just going to do that a couple of times. And roll back up slowly. And we're going to bring our arms up again. We're going to come into tabletop position again. Slowly. Now we're going to go past tabletop position if you can, just as far as you can. As far as you can still hold that position. Otherwise stay in tabletop, or if this is too much weight, take the arms back. This should take the weight off of it. But I want you to come as far as you can with a flat back, either with your arms stretched out or your arms here. So we're past the flat back and the tabletop now. And now from there, holding whatever position you're in, you should feel a stretch here. I want you to do 3 years. So we want to bend our knees. Try and stay in that position. 2, we're doing 5 again. 3, 4, and 5. Now I want you to come forward into downward facing dog. And just go a little bit into that stretch before we come back up. Slowly walk yourselves back with the knees bent. And slowly roll up. I'm going to face sideways now, because otherwise I won't have space. Now we're going to do similar exercises, but to the side. Don't worry, they're not quite as strength focused as the ones forward. So what we're going to start with is the toes are pointing slightly outwards, and the knees are, the legs, the feet are open Not super wide open, but like slightly wider than hip wide. What we just want to do is we want to reach down on our legs without moving the hips anyway. So the hips must stay in exactly the same place. Ooh, that's my back cracking. I don't think it's supposed to crack there. Just stretch to the side. You shouldn't be able to go very far unless you're very flexible. This is something you do all the time, stretching wise. You should feel this in your sides here a little bit, and also down the sides of your back. Just gonna do it a couple times. I want to do a similar thing. You don't want to go down, you just want to go to the side, and this time I'm going to push the hip over. So this is like a similar stretch, but it should feel a bit different. We aren't actually doing this now. We're like staying straight and just we're moving the hip instead of the upper body. Make sure to always tighten these muscles here and in your calves as well, so we don't put too much pressure on the knees. Yeah, we need to always support our knees by using our leg muscles. And come back to center. Now we want to do the same exercise we did first, but with our hands up. If that is too difficult, you just repeat what we did. So first without the hip and second with the hip. If you want the progression, we're going to do the progression. So it's the same thing. First thing, hips stay in exactly the same place. And we're just going to go over to the side and come back up. I'm feeling this very, very intensely in my abs on my way back. So we're just gonna do 2 on each side, because I find these quite hard. Okay, now same thing, letting the hip go to the other side. 1, do 4 overall, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, loosen the knees and give your hips and your sides a good shake. Do some figure 8s with the knees bent just to shake it out. We're going to do the same thing again. Everything tight. I'm going to start by moving from side to side without our arms. I'm not even counting, I'm just going with however long I feel I want to keep doing these. Come back to the center. Same thing we did earlier, now we're going to move the hips out of the way while we do that. I don't even know what this looks like. It feels weird, it probably looks weird, but well, it's a good stretch for the sides. These aren't usually muscles I work a lot on, so I'm finding this quite intense. Let's do 1 more on each side. Okay, come back to center. Either keep your hands down and do the same thing again, or hands up. We're just going to do 4 on each side. First thing, hip stays in the center, it's just the upper body. 1 and 2. 3 and 4. Same thing, now we're letting go of the hips. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Ooh, come back to the center. That was very intense on my abs. I thought I was gonna just flop over just now. Just tighten, not tighten, loosen the knees. Shake everything out. You can come to the front, just let it shake out a little bit. We can do some circles, okay? If you're feeling a little bit looser, we're going to bring everything together in a nice round stretch. Arms are here. We are going over to the side. We're going to fold over and do flat back to one side, diagonally to the front. We're going to move the flat back straight to the front. Move the flat back diagonally to the other side. Open up into that stretch. I come up quite a lot before I turn around. Come back up. Same thing to the other side. We're going to stretch over, hips stay in the middle on this one. Stretch flat back diagonally, flat back to the front, flat back to the other diagonal. Come up into the side stretch and up. One more time on each side. Come up into the side stretch. Ugh. Flat back diagonally. Flat back to the front. Flat back to the other diagonal. Stretch to the side and up. One more time. This way around. And let's go. Stretch. Flat back to the diagonal. To the front. To the diagonal. Stretch to the side. And come up. Ooh, okay, I'm just gonna shake everything out to the sides a couple times just to loosen it up. Okay, we will do a similar thing, but this time I want you to let go of the hip, and then I want you to come down to the side, bring the hip back into the center, bring the hip over to this side. We're going to come up and come up. This is going to feel a bit weird in terms of coordination, but you'll get these. So hip goes over to the side. We want to come over, bring the hip to the center, hip to the other side, over the stretch and up. So this is sort of like a continuous movement where the hip gives in to the circle that we're doing, yeah? So let's do it again, step by step, to the side, down, center, other side, up and up. Give in, down, to the center, to the side, come up and up. Let's do this slowly in a continuous circle movement a couple times. And let's go. And come back up to the side, come down, center, side, come back up. We're going to do 2 more of these. Side, center, and come back up. And to the side, center, the side, and come back up. You should feel this here. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling this here. This is the muscles. On the other one, it's these muscles. On this one's to the side where the hip gives in, it's the muscles here at the back. So, to loosen everything up, we're just going to do another round circle movement that is similar to these stretches that we just did, these stretches and strengthening exercises. But they're a little bit more fun and a little bit faster. So what we want to do is we want to go over this time with our knees bent. We want to come down in the center, bring the other arm over and open up. So what we want to do is we want to move over like this now. Yeah? So bring over the arm like this. Bring the arm down. Bring over the other arm and up. One more time slowly. Bring over the other arm. Come to the center. Bring the second arm over and up. I always come up when I'm coming up, and while I'm doing the circle, I'm going down. One more time. Over to the center. Over and up. Know which side I started on. Just going to do it slowly one more time. And one more time. To the side. Down. Side. And up. Let's do them a bit faster. We're going to do a few a bit faster. And down and up. This should feel like there's a lot of momentum in the movement. Yeah, let's do it a couple more times. You can go as slow or as fast as you would like. Okay, I'm going to do 2 more. One last. Okay, bring the feet, toes pointing to the front. We're just going to roll down one time just to, I don't know if you're feeling dizzy from all the turning, but if you do, this should sort you out. Just roll down however far you are. This can be here, this can be here, can be somewhere up here. Just make sure your knees are straight and your legs are, your muscles are working to support your knees. Just gonna hang in there. Bend your knees. Just gonna roll up. Circle your arms on the way up. Give yourselves circle movement, not a shake. It's a circle, it's a figure 8 movement. So we're just gonna do a figure 8 movement just to loosen up these back and front muscles here. And then we are done with our stretching and strengthening unit for today. Thanks for joining.